Welcome back. So far we have created the entire CRUD for products module. Next, what I am going to do is format these responses that the API returns. That way, these responses can be read by other applications such as mobile applications, front-end applications. So we need to format these responses in a consistent way. So let's get started. First, I am going to format the response of products index method, which returns all the products in the table. I can do it right here in this index method itself, but here I'm thinking a little bit reusability. So I'm thinking creating a separate helper to format these responses. Okay, so I'm creating a new folder in the inside app folder. I'm gonna name it helpers. Inside that folder, I'm going to create a new file called API helpers.php. Okay, I'm going to create a new class API helpers. Right. Inside this class, I'm going to define my function that format all the responses. I'm going to create a new method. Create API response. So the name makes sense, and most importantly, this method should be a static method, because then we can call this function anywhere without creating an instance of this helper. I'm going to use few parameters here. Um, is error. I will explain this in a minute. Code, message, and content. Great. I'm using the first parameter is error for determining whether this is an error response or a success response. The second parameter code is for returning the HTTP code, which is 200, 400, 404, like that. Third parameter message is for returning a custom error message, custom error or success message. Finally, the content is for returning data. Right. Okay, first I'm going to define a variable. Actually, it's an array. So this is the array we put all the data in this response. Then I'm going to check whether is error true or false. Right. So if is error is true, which is it's an error message, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another key, success, false, because this is an error response. Then I define another key, it is code. This is the HTTP code, and I'm going to put another key, which is message. So that's the custom message we can return. Okay, now we have a fair enough error response. And for the success response, we need these two, and the success key should be true. This is same. Next, what I'm going to do is I check if the content is null. If it is, I'm going to put a message. If it is not, I'm going to return the data. Correct. And finally I need to return the response, return the result. Okay. And I almost forgot to add namespace so that we can easily find this class. Helpers. Cool. Now I'm going to call this in index method of the products controller. Earlier what I was doing is just returning the products object directly. Now I can format my response. I'm going to create the response like this. Response equals to API helpers, create API response. Is error is false because this is a success message, success response, and the code is 200, and then the message. Actually I don't want to put a message here because we got some content. Products. All right, now I create the response, and I need this to convert to a proper JSON. In Laravel I can convert my response to a JSON with these functions. Response JSON, and my response variable goes here, and I need to put HTTP code. Everything looks good. Let me test this. What is the endpoint? Products. I'm going to say, hit the send button. There we have it. Success is true, 200, and we got data in our data array. So this is a properly formatted JSON response. I'm going to do the same for show method as well. I'm going to just copy these two lines and put here. Content is this product, and others look same. Let me check it on Postman. Single product, hit send. Yes, we got it. Now I'm going to continue adding this to other methods as well. What about store methods? Well, the store method does not provide data. It is all about saving data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new variable called product save and get the boolean that is returned from this piece of code. If the product is saved successfully, it returns a true. If not, it returns a false. So I'm going to catch that into this variable, and we'll do the same for this as well. If product save is true, then I'm going to put this here. API response is error is false because this is true. Code is 201 because this is about creating new records. I'm going to put a message here. Product added, and we don't need content here. I'm going to put it as null. Great. What about else? Same. The is error is true this time. Code is, I'm going to put 400 for the HTTP code, which is bad request, and the message product creation failed. The content is null this time as well, and the response is like this, and the status is 400. Let's try this as well. What is the API endpoint? The post request to products endpoint. Okay, I'm going to update these values a little bit. New description, new, and I'm going to increase the price a little bit, and I'm going to hit the send button. Yes, there we have it. Success equals to true. Code is 201, and this is also 201, and product added successfully. So we have a valid response for product creations as well. Next, I'm going to add this API helper to other methods as well, which is update and destroy method. Get the boolean value to another variable, product update. This is, I'm going to copy this piece of code and put it right here. If the product update is successful, then the message should be product update failed, and the response code is should be 200. This should be also 200, and that looks perfect. And I'm going to do the same for destroy method as well. Just copy and paste the piece of code. It should be product delete equals to product deleted successfully. Product delete failed. Codes are same for this as well. Now we can test this on Postman. I'm going to open up Postman, and I'm going to test the update endpoint. Hit send button. Yes, we have a properly formatted API response. Next, I'm going to test delete endpoint. I'm going to delete the product with the ID 2. Hit send button. Yes, we have formatted that response as well. We have deleted our product successfully. Now we have properly formatted all the API responses from the products module. I think this is it for this episode. In the next episode, I am going to introduce Laravel validations. See you there.